Hello, everyone. My name is Mirna, and on behalf of the Mindalia TV team, welcome to Mindalia live streaming, where thousands of people around the world gather daily to see the lectures and interviews organized by Mindalia TV. Today, we have again our dear Dan Blanchard. Dan is a best-selling and award-winning author. He's a public speaker and an educator. Dan is going to be having a very interesting conversation with Eaglemoon Raes. She is a licensed avatar master, certified consulting hypnotist, Usui and Karuna Reiki master, and EFT practitioner. She specializes in creating customized subliminal hypnosis audios programs for people of all ages. That's going to be interesting. But before starting with them, we want to remind you that Mindalia's mission is to share information that can help raise the level of consciousness around the world. You can help us by subscribing to our channel, leaving us a positive comment down this video, or even sharing it with someone that you know that is going to benefit of the content that we're going to be talking here today. We also want you to collaborate with Mindalia with your own valuable content if you want to. For that, you can go to our website. On the top, you're going to find a link that says Collaborate with Mindalia. That link is going to take you to a form that you can fill out. Our technical team will be getting in contact with you for that. Remember that you can collaborate with us in English through Mindalia TV English, as you already know, but you can also convey your message in Spanish through Mindalia Televisión and in Portuguese through Mindalia Televisao. We have 3 channels. Visit our channels, our different platforms, Facebook pages, Instagram accounts. Follow us there, because with that, you not only help us reach as much people in the planet as possible, but you also keep yourself updated with the wonderful information that we're sharing there on a daily basis. Information as beautiful and as interesting as the one that you are already used to see in Mindalia TV English. I'm not going to be delaying this any further, and I have now the pleasure of leaving you with our dear Dan and with Eaglemoon Raes. Guys, welcome to Mindalia live streaming. The screen is yours.
Hey, Mirna, how are you? Thanks. Looking forward to another great show. Just got back from Virginia Beach, watching my son wrestle in the Nationals. So what a great experience it was. 77 degrees there, and now I'm back in Connecticut. And today we're going to talk to Eaglemoon Raes. So Eaglemoon, so glad you could be on the show.
Thanks, Dan.
Welcome.
It's always fun.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. I think the last time I saw you, I think possibly I was on your radio show up there at the University of Connecticut campus. So glad to have you here. As Mirna said, you're a very accomplished woman.
Thank you.
You've done so many great things, between your radio show, Hypnosis. We're going to be talking a little bit about that. The homebound tutoring, you're doing wonderful things with that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Reiki Master. And I heard you also were an avatar wizard. I mean, what exactly is an avatar wizard?
I'm a licensed avatar master, and I work with an amazing group of licensed avatar masters around the planet to awaken humanity. So the mission of Avatar is to catalyze the integration of belief systems so that we can create world peace.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. So we have children doing it. We have, it's so exciting. We have babies in there and dogs in the course room. And it's like a little microcosm of the way humanity and the world can be. It's
the
way
it should be, right?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. I think it's part of humanity's evolution.
Yep. Something I've read about you that I really loved was that you said that you have suffered, you have struggled, you have loved, you have learned, you have let go, you have loved, and you have lived. And I thought, oh, isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you live, by going through those sort of, those emotions, those experiences. That's how you live.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So when I read that about you, I think it was maybe on your website.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, my Eaglemoon Raes got it going on. She gets it.
I'm doing it along with a bunch of other people in the world.
Yeah, the more the merrier, right?
That's my new mantra. I am alive.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. So I hear you got something with CDs going on now.
I do. Yeah, it's one of my big passions. I designed these CDs about, I don't know, more than 10 years ago. And I designed them for teenagers because I'm very passionate about hypnosis and helping people change their lives by changing their consciousness, changing their beliefs, whether they know what the belief is or they don't. And so one way of doing that is through hypnosis. And years ago, I was watching kids left and right plugged into their, at that time, it was iPods, not iPhones.
Yep.
So I thought, they're in and out of hypnosis. They're listening to their own music.
Yeah.
I should just create programs for them that they can use while they go about their day-to-day life. So I had this like wonderful idea just drop in my lap. And I've been creating these incredible programs for people. And what's wonderful about it is it takes everything that I do and it puts it into one beautiful, simple package. So there's Reiki energy in the CD. There's an inspired message from the individual's higher self or their guardian angel, their deepest knowing and their deepest truth. And there's imprint removals. And so all of that is underneath the music. So you only listen to your playlist, but all this magic is happening underneath. And because people are in and out of hypnosis, for instance, you probably have driven down the highway and lost track of time.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
Taking a wrong turn on a non-work day.
Exactly.
Trying to go to work.
Exactly. And that's a natural state of hypnosis. So if you, and athletes are, in the zone. And so that's a natural state of hypnosis too. So when people listen to their CDs, their subconscious mind is being programmed. And many, many people are afraid of hypnosis because they don't want somebody, i.e. a hypnotist, programming their mind.
Yeah.
But what they're unaware of is how much their mind is programmed by the media, by commercials, and going to a hypnotist and learning about hypnosis actually safeguards you from what's actually being programmed in your mind.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know like some people get scared. They're like, well, I don't want to get hypnotized because they're going to make me stand up on a chair and cluck like a chicken. Right. And it's like, no, I mean, that doesn't happen. I mean, hypnotism, it really is just like sort of like the power of suggestion, right? Pretty much.
Well, but stage hypnotists, I have to tell you this is an amazing story. I got interested in hypnosis in the early 80s when I lived in England while I was in college. Whenever there was a stage show, I would be called up because I'm such a really good hypnosis candidate.
Yep.
So I was in a couple of shows once when I was in Scotland and once when in my college when I lived in England. And so in America, we have the National Guild of Hypnotism, and we have a yearly convention. And so I was on stage, of course, and they gave the suggestion. So everybody had their solo time, and now it was my solo time. So the hypnotist says, you have been pulled over. So this is before he wakes me up. He's giving me the suggestion while I'm kind of in this sleep. And he says, when you hear the siren, you will wake up and you will be pulled over by the police for speeding. Everything you say will be in Japanese. So the siren goes off and he snaps his fingers, wake up, and I get up and he's talking to me in English, and out of my mouth comes Japanese. Now, I studied Japanese in college, so I know what was coming out of my mouth was Japanese. I was thinking in English and listening to Japanese come out of my mouth. So what that did for me is it gave me this insight of how much access we have to information that we don't know that we have.
Yes.
Just by getting into your subconscious mind. Somewhere within my subconscious mind was the knowledge that I know how to speak Japanese. So it was tapped into.
Yeah.
So if they can do that, they can tap me into a language that isn't, I'm not fluent in it. I know the social aspects of Japanese, but I was able to converse, give a lame excuse to the police about my kids in the back seat distracting me and I lost track of how fast I was going. That was my English story. And it was such a powerful moment of like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what's even cooler is that you're talking about this on the same day that I was reading through my book, The Storm. And there's a part when Granddaddy's saying to the boy Dakota, "What did I just do?" And the boy's going, "I don't know what you did. I think you looked at me. Maybe you smiled." And Granddaddy said, they started talking about hypnosis and about the state of mind, about retrieving things from your subconscious.
Oh, yeah.
And saying that I was just reading that and actually coming up with a few questions on that section. So this is like so perfect that we're talking about this hypnosis because it taps into your subconscious mind, like sort of like the getting into the right state of mind. You know, if you were cold or tired when you learned something, or you were smelling like Danishes, right? You try to get back into that state of mind, especially with the smell. Smell is so powerful, right? So you go back to like the same bakery if you want to remember what happened or whatever from the right state of mind, or like you said, tap into hypnosis. You can tap into your subconscious mind, and you can find like a storage of stuff that you know that you don't know, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like tapping into the universal intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the subconscious mind, for our people out there who are not as familiar, the subconscious mind, you know, as you are, Eaglemoon, subconscious mind is almost like this little like movie camera that's just playing everything around us every second of every day. It's recording it and it's there, but most people just don't know how to tap into it or how to access it. So again, the right state of mind, hypnosis can help you tap into that wealth of knowledge that's there. And I can tell you the other thing is, now that I'm thinking about it, Eaglemoon, way back, like probably 10, 15 years ago, I had a fellow teacher who said he could hypnotize me. So I was like, all right, you know, let's do it. And I found out that using hypnotism could be something good.
Yeah.
I mean, some people use it to stop smoking, you know, or whatever it may be. And my buddy, his name was Dave, he asked me, he goes, "Is there something you've been meaning to do over the last several months that you haven't been able to get to?" And I said, "Yeah, pretty much multiple times." I've said, "You know what? I got to like do a spring cleaning of that garage." Right? And I just haven't been able to get to it. So he goes, "I'm going to help you get to it this weekend, Dan." And he sat me down, got me to relax, you know, and then use his hypnotism to say, "Dan, you're going to clean that garage this weekend." So Monday I came in, he came looking for me and he goes, "Dan, did you clean the garage over the weekend?" And I go, "I sure did."
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, no doubt. Very powerful. So now I know you're doing some things also with athletes. I mean, I've always been a big proponent of like the old Greek values of mind and body. You know, you got to develop both. You know, I'm always talking to my son. My son's a heck of an athlete, just wrestled the nationals, like I said. But I'm always talking to him about mental toughness, you know, getting in the zone, getting your mind right, and that mental toughness, that focus. You know, so you're doing something with that too now, aren't you, Eaglemoon?
Yeah, I work with gymnasts, baseball players. Years ago, I became very passionate about educating parents about like the higher knowing of kids, because professional athletes, they don't just exercise. They're doing mind, body, spirit techniques. They use things like some athletes use Reiki and yoga. Some athletes use hypnosis. There are a lot of Olympic athletes that are huge in self-hypnosis. I was trained by Bob Rees in sports hypnosis, and he was the athletic director of the Giants. And he did hypnosis with some of those players, and in fact, accelerated the healing process of one of the players. So, and also Charles Way from the Giants, he does Reiki and wouldn't be walking if he didn't do Reiki. So professional athletes do this. So my passion is educating parents of these new techniques and these new skills that are not new age. They've been going on forever. To make life easier for young athletes. Because the problem that I see is it's a little bit of an unfortunate setup for young people because they emulate professional athletes. Professional athletes are their heroes. They want to be like them. But most people are not aware that these professional athletes are developing themselves in much more, lots of different ways other than just physical.
Yeah, the things they don't see.
Exactly, the things that they don't see. And so when they're not achieving this certain state that they believe they should be because they're lacking the other components, it's a little unfair. And so, I just want to educate people that there are so many things that you can do.
Yeah.
And young kids, many of them have very strong wills. And that's what you want to keep alive in your child.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, in our society, it's kind of frowned upon to have a strong will because you're not as malleable and able to be controlled in school if your will is strong. Those are the kids that get booted out, they get expelled and suspended. So in order for kids to really fit into school and follow the rules and everything, their will needs to be weakened in order for them to be compliant. So as they get older, that's the problem. Now they're not able to control their attention so well because their will has been reduced. And so now, we have this big epidemic ADHD, but if kids were this is my perspective, of course, this is the way I see it. I think that if people were aware that there's ways to keep your will strong, be respectful, follow the guidelines, but still to have a strong will, then you can control your attention. And this is what athletes do. Athletes need to be able to focus on this play and then this play and then this play. If your attention is on the error you made in the last inning, you're not going to be fully present for your at the your next up.
I almost thought, Eaglemoon, many times I've thought this over my educational career, is that they almost need a special school for boys. I mean, I've got so many male students that have been like rambunctious, and then I ended up having a little boy of my own who was strong-willed and rambunctious, and that's not a bad thing. Because I mean, think about who was strong-willed, like Winston Churchill was strong-willed. Right, John Kennedy, right, was strong-willed. These were important people, and the list goes on. And I'm looking at my little boy saying, I don't want the school if it can kill his spirit. Like he doesn't want to sit in his chair and sit in straight rows like the girls. He wants to throw a ball around. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't want to just like sit there for long periods of time reading a book. You know what I'm saying? He needs to get up and move around. He's got all this extra energy. So I've always thought that schools would benefit if they had like maybe a special school for boys that allowed them to learn in the ways that they learn, which is usually more physical.
Yes.
More physical, up and out of your seat, moving sort of things. And I was like praying that they weren't going to kill the spirits of my little boy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now he's in high school and he's conformed a little bit. He's still not that wild, strong-willed to some degree. But yeah, it's been dimmed a little bit. I'm hoping it's not completely gone. I don't think it is because he still argues with me and his mother occasionally. So I think he's all right, there. But another thing I want to talk to you about was, as you know, I come from the athletic world,
Mhm.
and I was a two-time junior Olympian wrestler. And then like 10 years later, two-time junior Olympian coach. Now I do, as an educator, some of the things that you talk about, Eaglemoon. Like I go in the bathroom sometimes between classes and splash a little water on my face, look in the mirror and start jumping up and down like a prize fighter, or like I was getting ready for a wrestling match. And I'm like, come on, Dan, you got this, you got this. I'm like, yeah. And then I walk out of the bathroom walking with confidence, like a million miles an hour in my classroom. I walk in the classroom, I'm like, all right, get your books out, here we go. So I'm totally in the right state of mind. I don't know if that's any kind of self hypnosis, but it's definitely putting me in the right state of mind. And another thing that I do for my students, now anybody who's a Notre Dame college football fan will get this one. When Notre Dame football comes out of the locker room, right above the doorway, there's a big sign that says "Play like a champion," and they all slap it hard and run out to that football field ready to play like the Fighting Irish. You know what I'm saying? They're all pumped up. I
Yeah.
got that little teeny sign with my own little special words around it. And on the very bottom, it says "Play like a champion." And my students slap it. It's on the side of the door. My students slap it or tap it or touch it, whatever you want to do, before they come into my classroom. It's my way of putting them in the psychological right state of mind, like an athlete.
Mhm.
Raise the hair on their back or get their goosebumps running a little bit, get them in the right state of mind. Because why should athletes only perform at a high level performance? Why shouldn't our kids walk into the classroom in the right psychological state of mind, ready to perform at a high level of performance, just like the athletes?
Yep.
Why not? I think they should. You think they should.
I do think they should. I think they should live that way. And yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, so I've been doing this for years. My kids always think it's kind of crazy. They look at me like it's weird, but they do it.
Yeah.
They tap in, and then on the way out, they tap out. And it's all about putting them in the right state of mind, coming into my classroom, and then reminding them on the way out, like an athlete, try to keep that right state of mind on the way out so you can use your brawn and brains, right? Your body and mind, the old Greek values. Something I've always believed in. So I'm so happy to see you doing this kind of work, Eaglemoon. But you're so right. I mean, the kids, you don't see it on TV. You know what I'm saying? You see somebody score a touchdown, sink a basket, hit a home run. You don't
Yeah.
see what mentally went into that mental game. And perhaps we should.
Yeah, here's an interesting thing I want to say too about hypnosis is it's not just for performance, because before chemical anesthesia, people would have surgery under hypnosis. So if you
Right.
think about that, and some people in Europe still do that, hypno anesthesia. So
Wow.
the body responds to the mind, and
hmm
it is so incredible when you see what the body will do. And when you're aware that your body, your mind can anesthetize and numb your body.
Yep.
I mean, we do this as part of hypnosis. You can numb somebody's hand and
Amazing.
then pinch them and they won't feel it. And so there are some doctors actually that are pediatricians that know the technique and use hypnosis with children where they numb it,
Yep.
where they're going to get an injection. They do this a lot with cancer kids, so that it's numb before they inject or before chemo.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Same
I mean,
thing
I've
with
heard of things-
dentistry.
I mean, the brain is so powerful. I've heard of things that people have like multiple personalities,
Mhm.
that when their brain thinks that
It's
Susie
actually the
now-
mind. It's not the brain.
yeah, the mind, thank you.
Yeah.
Thinks that they're no longer Susie but Mary, and Mary has blue eyes, not brown eyes.
Mhm.
I've read stories that their eyes have changed color.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I've read, I don't know anybody like that, but I've read stories that that's how powerful the mind is. It's actually been able to change people's eye colors when they go into their other personality of who they think they are. So if the brain can be that the mind can be that powerful to actually change eye colors. When we start getting down on ourselves, right, we could use the power of the mind to bring ourselves back up to a place where we can serve ourselves and humanity in a much better way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think you said earlier about going in and out of it. Do you have any tricks to help people? Let's say they're getting down on themselves, their mind is beating them up a little bit. How do you snap out of that and
Well,
get back?
it's interesting because as you were saying that, I was like, well, that's an identity. That's a critical identity. And
Yes.
so it's like I remember years ago, I was talking with this doctor about this. I wanted to go on tour as the Queen of the Rebels because being rebellious changes the world. You know, it's like you're not conforming to everything. But you need to have a cause. So most young people are rebels without a cause.
Yes.
So my viewpoint is if you're going to rebel, you need a cause. You need to have something to rebel for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You can't just rebel for, the heck of it. You need to be able to do something. So what I was envisioning was, those dolls that they insert into like a bigger doll, then another doll, and then until you get the tiny doll.
Yeah.
Well, I was envisioning that the tiny doll, which is who we really are, it's our soul, it's our light body or our light, whatever your terminology is for this full potential aspect of oneness. And then we start dressing it up. We'll put one costume and then we put another costume and then we put another costume.
Yeah.
But we still are defining it as me. But really, it's just you in this costume. So when somebody is getting down on themselves, they have their negative costume on. This is where they're dressed up like maybe an old hag or something. They have a negative critical costume. It's not who they are. It's just who they're being in the moment. But they're identified that it's me. This is me. It's the same form. It's the same mind. Well, actually, the mind does change. But it's not who we are. It's just what we're doing.
Yeah. So take the costume off.
Take the costume off. Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool, Eaglemoon. Take the costume off.
Just take them off.
And now, has that been one of your tricks? Going through a lifetime of success. You've traveled far from your beginnings to where you are now. I mean, you've got so many things you've done. I mean, is that one of the things that's gotten you through the years and helped you to get to where you are now?
Not just that. I do a lot, but I do pay attention to what identity I'm in. That is something. It's like, especially if I'm having difficulty with a person, I'll look at, well, what am I projecting onto this person? It's not, we tend to forget that it's not just like, it's just a critical identity. It's not who that person is. It's who I think that they are. So when I'm in an entanglement with somebody and I forget that it's really not them, it's just me in disguise, I have to just kind of reel myself in and say, okay, what am I being that's creating this experience? Like, what's my idea of this person? And you always find it.
Yeah. That's amazing social intelligence.
Yeah.
And that's something that our schools should be working on. I hear them talking about it from time to time. Eaglemoon, me and you have done stuff like that with the social intelligence. We've stressed how important it is. But I mean, for our kids, for our students, our youth, to be able to do that, what you just did, I mean, that would be amazing if they could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Say, like, what am I doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Say, what am I thinking? Oh, what? There it was. there was that stinking thinking again. I must have
Thinking,
on
thinking.
my bad costume, right? My sorrow costume, or my film bad costume. So when they could do that, wow. I mean, their lives would be so enhanced, so much better if they could do that. So I hope a whole bunch of kids are watching this show, Eagle Moon, and they
Mhm.
just heard what you said. I mean, that'd be cool. Very cool.
Yeah, we dress ourselves up so much and then we forget that we've done it,
True.
you know?
True. Sometimes we don't know we're doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
Well,
now we know.
Shakespeare says, all life is a stage, but,
That's true.
and if you look at it, then if we're on stage, we have to be dressing up.
Yep. Yeah. That's right. That's right. So I know Myrna is going to be coming back on pretty soon to close us out.
Okay.
Is there something that I haven't asked you that I should have, or some future plans you want to share with us? Fire away.
Well, I really am passionate about my CDs, and I love making them. So I'm always wanting to make more and to share it with more people. So that right there is, my big passion. And also the Avatar course is so dear to my heart because it's a training that all young people would benefit from, and
Yeah.
it will change the planet.
I like that. Change the planet.
Yeah.
That's what I'll be shooting, to change the planet.
Yep.
That's awesome. So Myrna, you still there?
Of course I am. I never leave.
Of course.
Thank you guys. Well, once again, we are so blessed to be able to serve as a channel so people like you can convey your wisdom to so many people around the world. Before finishing, we want to actually ask Eagle Moon, how can our audience find you?
My website is Eaglemoon, EAGLEMOON dash Raes, RAES.com.
Thank you. And Mr. B, where can our audience find you?
Well, they can find me at danblanchard.net or granddaddysecrets.com, or just Google Dan or Daniel Blanchard. All over social media. I'm everywhere. They'll have no trouble finding me. Sure to get on Amazon. Check out my book, The Storm, and all the other ones I've written too. Thank you, Myrna.
Thank you. To our audience, of course, thank you for being with us, for sharing this video with whomever you feel that should be hearing this message, and for subscribing, for giving us a thumbs up at the bottom, which means that you like it, because with that, you are not only helping us reach as much people in the planet as possible, but you also keep yourself updated with the wonderful information that we share, not only here, but in Mindalia Televisao and in Mindalia Televisión, because we have Mindalia TV English, but we are also giving out information in Spanish and in Portuguese. Remember that you can also collaborate with us with your own valuable content. And for that, you can go to the top of the page where it says collaborate with Mindalia. Guys, thank you again for sharing with us your time, your wisdom. And to the audience, thank you for being with us. And until next time.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.